Welcome aboard, everyone, wherever you are in the world. My name is Simon. We are the Whales of Wall Street. Ethernity chain is the subject in this video, ERN on exchange. Before we go into a couple of these updates, first of all, if you are looking to get Ethernity, it is available on Binance, Uniswap and Gate, predominantly around the USDT pairing, but also available in a couple of others as well. Let's go into a couple of news items here for Ethernity chain. I absolutely love this project. It's phenomenal. So let's see. Bruce Lee NFTs are coming. How cool is that? So I'm even going to heart that because Bruce Lee is an absolute legend. You see that? It's a bit of a glitch there. Something's going on. In fact, I'll retweet as well. So Bruce Lee joining the NFT community within Ethernity. Let's see how that goes and when that's coming. But we're going straight to the one that's dropping tomorrow, I believe. Well, it's tomorrow's in a few hours for us here in the UK. So by the time I wake up, this thing I might have even dropped. So 9.9. Interesting. Let's see if we've got any timings on here at all. So those that don't know Ethernity chain, massive marketplace for NFTs. So there's multiple options here for different artists, sports players. Lionel Messi one recently going for an obscene amount of money. I think it's like 9 point something million worth using ERN and Ethereum. It's absolutely phenomenal. So we'll look at the chart in a minute because we have had the drop, obviously the Bitcoin disaster yesterday, affecting the whole entire market, to be honest. But I have a feeling that we might start to see a bit of a kick up in Ethernity over the next day or two as this announcement is more and more raised awareness, and also people trying to get hold of it because NFL is obviously a gigantic sport across the world, including mainly America, of course. And I think as well, Dallas Cowboys being one of the absolutely phenomenal teams in the world for when it comes to sports. And what I would say with this as well is not just the Dallas Cowboys with their 3.9 million followers activating this, but of course Ethernity are building their own fan base as well. They had a massive success with the Lionel Messi ones. This one here with the singing artist also had a few items of interest around there as well, and there's loads of other cool things on there too, different kind of additions and pricing, etc., and staking opportunities on the ERN as well. So we did do a intro video, go check that out. I'll leave a link at the end of this one for that if you want more information on Ethernity chain. So now we've got those couple of updates out there. I'm just going to close that page down because no doubt it will mess up the processor on my laptop. We're waiting for the new one to arrive. So let's go into this. Before we do, make sure you've subscribed to the channel if you've not done so already, and like this video if you find it informative. Massively appreciate your support, and hopefully we're doing a good job for you guys, raising awareness and building the community and engaging as much as possible. This chart, guys, okay, so we had the Lionel Messi informations around here, which went very well, and of course we had the bit of the tail off which was expected after that kind of drop in the NFT. We had a bit of a rise, but I'm so gutted about this movement here. It was kind of anticipated that we may have a continuation downwards in terms of the token chart here, because we haven't had really much support lines on this. So I did anticipate that we might come back down to this level anyway in a slow process. But like I said, I'm really interested to see how the Prescott NFT drop goes tomorrow and what that does to the price, if there's a bit of FOMO in or people getting involved, or if people have maybe even got their tokens available already from back here and perhaps missed out on previous NFTs and are waiting for these ones. So I do think the chart with these kind of projects is a bit skewed, because I think it's very much reflective on obviously announcements, particularly with NFTs and NFT drops. The demand is obviously relatively there, mainly from my side in terms of the project itself, not so much for the NFTs, and the fact that obviously as time goes on, in 5 years, 10 years time, the tokenomics develops a continuous development, meaning that demand becomes really high and supply becomes a bit lower. That's my mechanism of thought process behind that. But for now, I just think it's very much reactive to the announcements. So that's why I always emphasize, particularly with these kind of projects, keep an eye on their Twitter and the other social media platforms as much as you can if it's a project that you're interested in, because you can start seeing the rumors and planning in what you think the price movements might be. So that's why I said two things: the Prescott NFT drop, whether that will start kicking it up because of a bit of FOMO, or if people have already purchased up here in these areas and are waiting because they missed out on things like the Messiverse drops and other ones that are coming as well. And also the Bruce Lee announcement. So we now know in our heads that actually that is coming at some point. A date will be announced, and then you'll probably have a trigger upwards of growth as well, while people anticipate and get their tokens ready onto the marketplace platform, ready to purchase their NFTs. So it's really reflective, as I said, on announcements and the whole drop community aspect on social media. So that is really important indicator to pay attention to. If you're looking at it from a chart perspective, of course we saw the big drop yesterday from the Bitcoin movements and everything like that, and that reflected across most of the crypto assets across the multiple charts that we've gone through. And it's kind of maybe in some ways helped us out in the sense that it's accelerated the drop that was kind of anticipated already. One key piece of information here is that we appear to have, where we had this stabilization here, which is really good to see health-wise on this project. We've rejected this area twice, not only yesterday but also today, and that's really, really good news for ERN, in my opinion. If we can continue a close on these areas, in fact, let me just adjust this slightly so that we are a bit more in line with that. If we can close today just over that 13 cent mark, and tomorrow as well, I truly think that we've hit a new support line and we can start getting a bit of stabilization. The drop, like I said, tomorrow might pull it back up, but if it does, you've just got to anticipate that if we have a big rise, we might have a bit of more of a tandem coming downwards. So in my opinion, I'm just going to draw these in here as well, just because of historical data. We've hit this area twice already. I am going to put it in again, and the reason I'm putting it again is just to think about that launch tomorrow or over the next 24-48 hours, what reaction that will have. And then as we've seen up here, you get kind of a level off but a slow reduction back, so we might visit that area again. And again, I will have to wait and see, but I would anticipate potentially this kind of area, if it does float back up to here, then this could be an opportunity to come back in as well. And we've got to look at a third scenario as well. So let's say it doesn't come up here at all, we continue the momentum downwards. Are we going to test this area down here? Well, absolutely, potentially possible. And particularly in the area, I don't necessarily go for big rounded numbers. I either go just above it or just below it. And I do think when we're looking at if this is a level to support out or not, you do get usually a wick that tests slightly under before it retraces back, if that is the case, that it is becoming a bit more bullish in that arena. So I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to put a buy order in here after this video, and we'll see how we get on, and we'll definitely look at this over the next week or two, see if that has been successful or not, and also if we've been successful in the sense that we might see an increase in intake like we saw here, and obviously here around the Messi era bits. And what I'll do is I'll just draw another area in here just as an anticipation to see if we can get back up to here, and I'll change the color of this one just so we're clear that this is where I have a feeling that we might start anticipating a few moves towards with that Prescott drop. So let's see where we go with this one, but hopefully that's given a few ideas around. It's not financial advice, this is just what I'm going to be doing personally. And we'll, like I said, it's very reflective on news updates and things like that. So it's not kind of ones like the fundamental charts where you can kind of anticipate fully where the chart's going. But I think it's a really fun one to look at because you can start engineering your mind in a different way, looking at charts in a slightly different way for different kind of assets, different kind of projects. And I think this one is very much based on what we've just said. So if we're looking at it in a chart perspective, the MACD is very widening gap down here, so it's still in a bearish momentum. This is why I think these areas are still important. And the RSI is very low. It could drop potentially around the 35 mark. I'm really interested to see what happens in the next 24 hours. But with this drop, of course, it might come back up. But if you're buying now for profitability purposes, absolutely phenomenal time to do it. Before we see a potential rise up back to these areas around 70 plus, and that's when you want to start taking incremental percentage profits, because then you know in your mind that you've gotten nearer the sort of 50% increase marks and beyond, of course. So bear that in mind, and that's something we'll reflect on. Let's have a look at this. Maybe if something critical happens tomorrow in the drop, I promise I'll do another video on this, but certainly in the next 48 hours we will definitely look at this chart again, and we'll reflect on any of these movements, and then that'll give us good ammunition for the next round, like the Bruce Lee one, for example, to have a look at. So guys, let us know if you're holding ERN in the comments below, what you think of the chain and what is your price prediction for this year. It's absolutely phenomenal growth, to be honest, if you think about it. We're floating around $13, which is incredible, and long may it continue, because this project's fantastic. I love the marketplace, I love its community building and how it announces stuff online, etc. So let's keep the momentum going, and we will update you in a couple of days time. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.